What's good, my people? It's your boy Joey here with Branch Life, doing a little on the road installment. Even though most of them are on the road, just about to take care of some business. Out and about right now. Rainy day here in my neck of the woods. But yeah, I figured I'd get on here and make a quick video. It's funny, I always say make a quick video, but they end up being like 20-30 minutes. But anyways, I digress. So yeah, I guess the topic of this video, for me, is I think right now back to the basics. And that's kind of something I really want to push forward to you guys out there in YouTube land, whoever's watching my videos. You should really take this time that we have right now to really get back to the basics and focus on what's important. Really disconnect from the world. I can't stress that enough. Especially if you're a believer, you should be enjoying this moment to the best of your ability. You should be loving life. Like I was in a meeting today and I told them I'm living my best life right now. I'm loving it. I'm able to do so many things. Like even this morning when I woke up, I thought about the day before, kind of reflected, and I was like, man, yesterday was an amazing day. I had so many things I was able to get accomplished. Now that I'm, disconnected in a sense from the world, not getting distracted by the things that would normally distract me, whether it's, TV, sports, the daily grind, just a lot of this outside interference. I've really kind of blocked a lot of that noise out. And I mean, just to give you a quick rundown of my day yesterday, I woke up, got my reading time in, been reading the Sefer, which I mentioned in my last video. Read the Sefer, got a workout in, hit the grocery store, all that by like before like noon, After I got back from the grocery store, I canned some apples. I've been getting into like canning and food preservation, so I canned some apples. After I canned some apples, I went for a bike ride. Kind of a short one. It was kind of a crummy day yesterday. But after the bike ride, I went for just a quick walk, found a bench, sat down, put on a podcast, and worked on my journaling. I've been going through my journal entries that I have on my phone and putting them in my actual real paper notebook that I want to hold on to. And while I was doing that inspired me to start a blog. So I went home, cracked open the computer, jumped on Blogger, and started a blog. And put my first blog post based off of something that some thoughts that I had that I jotted down from a couple days ago. And it's just like, when inspiration hits, you just got to go for it. You can't sit there and overthink it. Like the minute I'm like, let me just write a blog. Boom. Made it happen. So it's like now I have another avenue, another outlet for my creativity. Really going back in journaling has kind of sparked this interest in the blogging, really wanting to share my thoughts with others. Get back to the name of my blog is Make Critical Thinking Great Again. So if you get a chance, go check it out. It's on Blogger. And it's just me writing down my thoughts. So for me, there is no right or wrong answer. All I'm trying to accomplish is allowing myself the ability to think critically and allowing others to also think critically, and just sparking conversation, come up with theories, hypotheses, just throw our thoughts out there and just, reap the benefits of that, getting outside of just the mainstream thought process, just all that nonsense that gets bombarded our way. With this, just gives me an outlet to sit there and write down my thoughts. It's been neat going back and looking at some of these things I wrote over a year ago. There was something in there, I think it was about from a year ago, where I had written Adonai in there and Yahuwah, and it's like I move forward to now, and I have the Sefer. And in the Sefer, it gives you a list of all the different, you know, names for God that the Hebrews use in their Ivrit language. Adonai, Yahweh, Jehovah. And it's just like, dang, like how crazy is this that this seed had been planted in my mind about Adonai, that far, about a year ago. And now it's like I have this book where I'm reading and understanding these names, and it's an amazing thing, and it's really neat. So that's where it's like part of my conversation today. It's like I'm living the best life I can right now. I'm in charge of my thoughts. I'm in charge of my feelings, my emotions, and I keep them in check, and I allow myself to kind of reflect, and in no shape, way, or form am I suffering. And that's where it's like, if you're a believer and you're coming off thinking that you're suffering right now, then you need to check yourself, because this is not suffering at all. This is maybe but a mere inconvenience. And if you're suffering, if you're depressed, if you're finding this very difficult, then you truly need to take a hard look in the mirror, especially if you're a man. And pardon my French, but just look in the mirror and be like, you're being a bitch, because you are. You shouldn't be suffering as a man right now. I mean, we're a little inconvenienced, but that's about it. We're not facing any type of persecution, anything that you could truly say that I am suffering. You got your baseball season taken away? Oh, first world problems. You can't go to your local bar? First world problems. I mean, your stomach isn't touching your spine yet. You ain't starving. Yeah, you may not have the same income you had right now and not be able to live how you were living maybe a month or two ago, but that's okay. You still have a roof over your head for now, hopefully. You have your health. You have the ability to go and create and renew yourself. Renew your time spent with the Lord. Just renew everything about your life. Get back to the basics. And that's where it's like, yes, get back to the basics. I'm an optimist. I can't help it. That's just how I'm wired. I take a crappy situation and I make it good. It's like I can't not sit there and woe is me, and I got my job taken away, I got my business taken away. I've got to figure out other ways to hustle, other ways to continue to move forward, to stay ahead of the curve, use this time that I have to the best of my ability. So that's me getting out there, blogging, doing these YouTube videos, spending time in the Word, still hustling. I have to do what I have to do, and I don't consider myself, through the glory of God, I don't consider myself to be suffering right now. I'm merely inconvenienced. That's it. So take a hard look in the mirror. If you're a man and you feel that you're suffering right now, you truly don't know suffering, and you're basically being a baby boy, as my guy Wes Watson would say. And you need to take a hard look in the mirror. And if you are being, woe is me, you're setting the tone for your family, and you're giving off that energy to them. That's right. I have to realize that I set the tone. No fear. And that's a mindset that I'm trying to instill in my daughter and in my wife. We're not going to be sitting in my house scared of some invisible enemy, a disease, whatever. Tell my 8-year-old daughter, you have nothing to fear because you have God. And if grown-ass men can't figure that out for themselves, then I don't know what to say about that. But that's where it's like, no fear. You can't show fear. You're setting the tone for your family. If you're trying to be the leader in your family, you have to be in control of your emotions. You have to be in control of your actions. There's times when I know I get caught up in it, but I have to check myself and be like, you know what, you're being a little bitch right now. You need to stop. You need to stop. Do not get out of character. And that's something that Wes stresses so much, is do not get out of character because of somebody else. And that's so true. You can't let other people make you get out of character. You can't. You have to be above that. So that's for something that I'm daily trying to work on in myself. And that's the message I'm trying to get out to you guys as well. Like, no amount of reading from books is gonna change your actions unless you physically start changing your actions. Discipline is freedom. Getting discipline, getting a routine down, getting a program down, and sticking with that program. It's a hard thing to do, but if you're really trying to better yourself as a man, as a husband, as a father, you need to do that. We need to remember discipline is freedom. And I have that on my little board every day when I get my workout in. I read those things. Stay hard, a la David Goggins. Discipline is freedom. Jocko Willink. Pain is weakness leaving the body. One of my old drill sergeants. And purpose over pleasure. Wes Watson. I mean, those four guys alone. If you don't know them, look them up on YouTube. Watch them. They have knowledge, wisdom, and an understanding that sets them apart. And it's not something that they created out of their own opinions or their own mindsets. No, they learned this from experience in what they did, experiences in the world. It's a universal thing, a universal message that they learned and understood, and we're passing it forward. And that's what I'm hoping to do here. It's like, as I'm learning, as I am acquiring, as I am molding myself into the man I want to be, I'm passing that along to the next person. I'm far from perfect. I'm far from walking like those gentlemen, but every day I'm trying to be a better man. I'm trying to be that man that, instills pride in his family, instills pride where my daughter's like, that's my dad, where I don't need outside validation from anybody. It comes from within, So keep that in mind. Just, like I was saying, get back to the basics, the simple things about life, using this time to the best of your abilities, and realize you are not suffering. We are not in a third world country. I still see people 30 cars deep lined up for Starbucks. Like, if we were suffering, you would not be able to get Starbucks. But yet these people are, a mere inconvenience is now saying that they're suffering. Yeah, shit's going to hit the fan. It is. I'm waiting for it. And as somebody said, I think we're about maybe a third of the way into the natural disaster movie. I mean, I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon. And mentally, if you're already thinking that you are suffering, you ain't going to make it. You're not going to make it. This is going to chew you up and spit you out. I'm not saying even I'm ready for it, but I'm mentally preparing myself daily and realize that I am not suffering. In fact, I'm living the best I have in a very long time. And at the end of the day, I guess it's just a matter of perspective. What's your perspective? For me, my perspective is I'm loving this. I don't want to go back to how it used to be. I don't want to go back to that living just to survive lifestyle that we had. I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to better. I want to continue to, yes, provide for my family, but do it in my way. Not be told this is how you have to do it. Not be under the thumb or needing the beast system that we're currently in. This was a conversation I just had right now earlier today with my wife. My business is closed. I have no control over that. And I've been praying on should I file for unemployment. And I had the unemployment page up today, and I was like, should I? But something in my gut was telling me, don't do it. Don't do it. And what I told my wife was, like, right now is going to be the time where truly this is going to test your faith. Where is your faith? Is your faith with the Most High? Or is your faith with this system that we live in? Now, mind you, my income isn't what it used to be when I had my studio open, but I'm still getting by through the grace of God. My wife is working. We have a roof over our head. We have food on the table. We're not lacking for anything. Would a little extra income come in nice? Yes. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to impose my will on my situation if it's not God's purpose for me to do so. And that's where I think like me going to apply for unemployment today, that was my spirit telling me, you're taking this under your own power. You're trying to get yourself out of this situation by your will. You're not allowing God to provide an opportunity for you. You're not allowing God to answer your prayers. You're taking it on your own behest and doing this and setting these wheels in motion that may end up biting you in the rear end. It may not, but you know what? I'm not gonna test it. I'm going to have faith in my God, have faith in Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, and know that He will provide for me. It may not be right this instant because, again, God is not a genie that you rub and you ask Him for something and He's going to give it to you. No, it doesn't work that way. And I think that's where right now is going to be the season where it's going to be testing people left and right. Where is your faith at? Is your faith only with Jesus Christ, with God, when everything's great? You got the paychecks rolling in, you got your vacations, you got your shiny toys, you got all that materialism? Or is your faith going to be when you're down in the gutter, when half of your income is gone, you can't afford this, you can't afford that, you're barely getting by? Where's your faith going to be? And this is going to test people. This is going to separate the wheat from the tares. That's it. That's all this is boiling down to. And who are you? What are you? Are you the wheat or are you the tare? And that's where you got to check yourself. That's where right now is the time to get in the Word. Right now is the time to study and make yourself improve. Right now is the time to pick up those books that you're told you shouldn't bother reading and read them for yourself and see why and if they should be worth your reading time. I mean, you have all the time to do it, but most of everybody's out there sitting on their cell phone, sitting in front of the TV, watching Netflix, Amazon Prime, wasting this precious time that they have right now to get closer to the Lord. And so when shit really hits the fan, they're not going to be ready. What is that? She wasn't ready. They're not going to be ready for it. And that's going to be very disappointing. And that's where it's going to be like, you have this time to prepare. But when, you're going to a lukewarm church where you're barely getting taught the basics, where all you're getting fed is milk, you're not going to be ready for any of this. And that's where it's like, test them, Lord. Test me, Lord, right now is a time to be in preparation, in prayer, in supplication, because you will be tested. And you have to study yourself to be approved. And you have to pray to be given the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Because if you don't hear or see what's coming, you're going to get taken away with the tares. You're going to become one of the tares. And this may sound harsh to some of you, but I think at the end of the day, to get this message across, you need to be harsh. You need to be hard. I've been told I'm too hard. I'm too hard. I don't know any other way to be when it comes to the Word of God, to showing my faith, to my willingness to truly get the truth out. I can't half-step it. I have to be real, and if that's too hard for some people, then those people may not be for me, and I may not be for those people. Continue with your milk, toast, sugar, water gospels. Like, that's it. I don't got time for that, and right now it's going to be the time where, you're going to see who's going to ride with you and who's not going to ride with you. I'm okay with a smaller group of individuals that are going to ride with me, that have the same vision, that have the same principles, that have the same fortitude, than 50 to 100 people that are going to fall on the wayside when the first moment of tribulation comes, of persecution comes. You know what I'm saying? Those are going to be the people that are going to narc you out, that are going to rat you out, that are going to sell you out. And I don't want those people. I don't want those people on my team. I'd rather take a team of 5 hard, mentally strong, people that love the Lord with all their heart and soul, that are willing to die for Him, than 100 lukewarms. And that's it. At the end of the day, that's how I look at it. So I guess that's all I got to say about that. Keep it simple. Enjoy this time. do what you can to better yourself. Do what you can to better the people around you. And remember, this isn't suffering. This is but a mere inconvenience. Suffering will come soon enough. You'll know true suffering when it comes. On that note, have a blessed day. Stay with the Lord. Stay in prayer. Stay in the Word. And God bless.